Welcome to the part 4 of our series on the 100 black inventions that changed the world. In history, there are some amazing inventions and inventors whose stories have been left out. Imagine everyday things like pencils and elevators. Did you know black inventors made them better? In the previous episodes on this series, we've talked about how Frederick McKinley Jones made it possible to keep food fresh while traveling, so we can eat tasty fruits and veggies from far away. And Lewis Latimer, another brilliant mind, helped make phones work and created better light bulbs. He connected people with his inventions and brought light to our streets. However, there are many more black inventions that barely make the current-day curriculum or are even spoken about. We'll learn about these amazing inventors and their invention, their stories, and how their ideas changed the world. These inventors may not have been famous, but their inventions are a big part of our lives. Before we get right into the video, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can catch all the parts in this series and keep informed of our eye-opening black narrative. Number 40. Industry Standard Architecture Systems Bus. When you plug your printer, keyboard, or monitor into your PC, the majority of the time you'll find that it simply works, no matter what brand your peripherals are or how long ago you purchased them. This is largely because of the developments of inventors Mark E. Dean and Dennis L. Moeller, who developed the internal architecture of what's known as the ISA, or Industry Standard Architecture, at IBM in the early 1980s. The pair began working together on a team tasked with building a microcomputer system with bus connectivity for peripheral processing devices for IBM computers and compatible PCs. A bus is a device that connects a computer's central processing unit with devices such as keyboards, mice, monitors, printers, and the like. With the bus installed, devices can communicate with one another, making it possible for devices to work together efficiently and at high speeds. Dean and Muller made architectural improvements within the PC and the bus that laid the foundation for explosive growth in the computing industry. Their invention, for which they received a U.S. patent in 1985, made it possible for users to connect computers to peripherals by simply plugging them in. Number 39. Improved fountain pen. William Purvis was an African-American inventor and businessman who received multiple patents in the late 1800s. He is known to have patented an improvement to the early design of fountain pens in 1890. Before his invention, fountain pens did not have an onboard ink reservoir and required a separate ink bottle. Purvis's design included a small ink storage inside the pen, allowing for even ink distribution onto the writing medium. According to Purvis, his updated design of the fountain pen was intended to provide a simple, durable, and cheaper construction so the pen could be carried in someone's pocket. Purvis set an elastic tube between the pen nib and the ink reservoir, enabling the tube to return the excess ink to the reservoir. After this improvement, the new pen could evenly distribute the ink when being used. Purvis's invention of the fountain pen with onboard ink storage made handwriting work cleaner and more efficient than the previous method. For this design, Purvis received a U.S. patent on January 7, 1890. Number 38. First gigahertz chip. In the year 2000, Mark Dean worked with a team of IBM's engineers to create the first gigahertz chip, a microprocessor able to do 1 billion calculations a second and break the barriers of what microprocessor manufacturers and semiconductor engineers thought was impossible. Prior to then, computer processors were operating in kilohertz at 1,000 cycles per second and megahertz at 1 million cycles per second. With Dean's game-changing piece of technology, computers were able to perform up their speeds. The chip meant that people could process data faster than ever before. This invention helped skyrocket personal computing sales in the late 80s and early 90s, making personal computers a part of everyday life. Today, personal computers are able to reach speeds of 6 gigahertz, which could go even higher in the future. Number 37. Snowmobile. People using snowmobiles for fun rides in snowy areas or getting around in places where regular vehicles can't easily go can show some appreciation to Frederick McKinley Jones, an American inventor, entrepreneur, and engineer who developed an early prototype of a snowmobile. The snowmobile he developed was fashioned from the fuselage of an airplane and mounted on 4 skis. He attached a motor to power it, but the contraption had no brakes, so Jones had to dig his heels into the snow to bring it to a stop. With the use of his snow machine, as he called it, Jones drove doctors across the snow-covered fields of Minnesota to make necessary house calls. This also allowed Jones to make ends meet during those harsh conditions. Number 36. Vacuum heating systems. David N. Crosthwaite was famed for his many inventions for which he got 119 patents. His most highly respected accomplishments include his heating system design for New York's iconic Radio City Music Hall and the Rockefeller Center. This invention was designed to operate with steam at controlled subatmospheric pressures. The system consisted of multiple radiating systems for different parts of a building, all supplied from the same steam source, with a single exhausting mechanism maintaining the required subatmospheric pressures. Within the system was a reducing valve that regulated steam pressure in the radiators, determining the amount of heat they emit. There was also a differential pressure controller that maintained a constant pressure difference between the supply and exhaust sides of the radiators. This innovation allowed efficient heating in areas with varying weather conditions and prevented the need for separate heating systems, reducing costs and complexity. The system also ensured optimal heat distribution and energy efficiency in buildings. Crosthwaite's contributions to heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, HVAC, continue to inspire and inform new generations of inventors and engineers. Number 35. Gamma electric cell. In 1963, Henry T. Sampson was awarded a patent for a gamma electric cell, which converted radiation into electricity. The device was used for capturing the radiation in the shielding of a nuclear reactor and transforming it into auxiliary power. The technology was used to generate additional power in nuclear reactors. Sampson's invention has been significant for the nuclear power industry and has contributed to developing innovative power sources. He is also the first African American to earn a PhD in nuclear engineering in the United States. Number 34. VoIP technology. Voice over Internet Protocol, VoIP, also called IP telephony, is a method and group of technologies for voice calls, the delivery of voice communication sessions over Internet Protocol, IP networks, such as the Internet. The technology was invented and patented by Marion Croak, a renowned computer scientist and inventor who has significantly contributed to modern communication technology. Predicting that the Internet would take over wire technology, Croak felt compelled to develop technology that would transform the Internet. She succeeded by establishing the fundamentals for what is now called VoIP. Today, the widespread use of VoIP technology is vital for remote work and conferencing, as well as personal communications. Over the years, VoIP as technology has continued to evolve. The international VoIP calls market is predicted to hold the significant share of all conversations in the future. Number 33. Sanitary belt. Mary Beatrice Davidson Kenner invented the sanitary belt, patented it in 1957, and revolutionized menstrual hygiene. Before her invention, most women were still using cloth pads for menstruation. The sanitary belt had a moisture-proof pocket and was adjustable to fit any user comfortably. Kenner also invented a toilet tissue holder, a backwasher mounted on the shower wall, and a serving tray attached to a walking frame. However, being a black woman at the time, Kenner is perhaps one of the most forgotten African American inventors. Regardless, many useful ideas now still widely used. Number 32. Leprosy treatment injection. Alice Augusta Ball was the first African American woman to graduate from the University of Hawaii with a degree in chemistry in 1915. She subsequently secured a teaching position at the university. Ball researched the effects of chalmugra oil on patients suffering from leprosy, which led to the creation of the first leprosy treatment injection. She discovered a method to isolate the fatty acid components and created a water-soluble compound from the oil. The injection was widely used for over 30 years to alleviate leprosy symptoms until the introduction of sulfone drugs. Ball's groundbreaking work helped advance medical research and relieved countless individuals suffering from leprosy. Number 31. Truss and bandage. Leonard C. Bailey's invention of a truss and bandage was designed to provide effective support for inguinal or scrotal hernias without the need for pads. The device consisted of a supporting brace attached to belts that pass around the thighs and across the back. The triangular supporting portion covered the reduced parts, and the belts were adjusted to securely hold the brace in place without interfering with muscle movement. The invention offered a simple and efficient solution for supporting hernias, providing relief to patients and potentially leading to a cure without the discomfort caused by traditional truss pads. The device could be used on one or both sides, and a modified version allowed for complete support in cases of double hernias. Additionally, it could be adapted for abdominal support in cases of uterine displacement or during pregnancy. Overall, the invention allowed for continuous wear, including during bathing, and could be washed like regular clothing. It offered a broad and complete support over the abdominal region and surrounding areas, promoting healing and comfort for the wearer. The design was later adopted by the U.S. Army Medical Board, providing funding for Bailey's business ventures and future inventions. Despite not having a background in healthcare, Bailey's inventions helped improve many people's lives, and his legacy as an inventor continues to inspire today. Number 30. Link line software. In January 2006, Miss Bashan became the first African-American female to hold a patent for a software invention. After graduating from the University of Houston, Bashan worked for an insurance company handling claims related to equal employment opportunities, EEO, a principle that everyone has equal way to pursue a job that is based on merit, regardless of characteristics such as race, sex, or sexual orientation. While at the insurance company, she proposed an external team to investigate EEO, but the idea was rejected. Undeterred, she founded her own EEO management company, which became a huge success. To make the task of retrieving and storing EEO information easier, Bashan and her cousin Donnie Moore developed the Linkline software. The patented software, Linkline, now known as Nalika, is a web-based application for EEO claims intake and tracking, claims management, document management, and numerous reports. Number 29. Imaging X-ray spectrometer. George Alcorn is an impressive black inventor who had an equally remarkable academic career. Alcorn worked for various prestigious companies and agencies throughout his career, including IBM, NASA, and PerkinElmer. Despite such impressive credentials, Alcorn is probably most famous for his innovation of the imaging X-ray spectrometer, a device that helps scientists better understand what materials are composed of when they cannot be broken down. Receiving a patent for his method in 1984, Alcorn's inclusion of the thermomigration of aluminum in the spectrometer was regarded as a major innovation by experts in the field. The invention led to Alcorn's reception of the NASA Inventor of the Year award. Throughout his career, Alcorn was granted 8 patents, but undoubtedly, the most popular and groundbreaking of these was the X-ray spectrometer. Number 28. Fire escape ladder. Joseph Winter was a prominent African-American abolitionist who developed a fire escape ladder mounted on a vehicle. This invention resulted from observing a firefighter struggling to unload a traditional ladder from a wagon during a fire emergency. Winter's fire escape ladder invention was more efficient and safer, as it could be deployed quickly and did not require the firefighter to carry it to the building. The new ladder replaced the wooden ladder with a metal frame and parallel steps. Winter's innovation was utilized by the Chambersburg, Pennsylvania Fire Department, who mounted the ladder on a horse-drawn wagon. In addition to his work as an inventor, Joseph Winter was an active member of the Underground Railroad, a network of secret routes and safe houses used by enslaved African Americans to escape to freedom in the North. He assisted many enslaved people in their escape, providing them with food, shelter, and directions on their journey. Number 27. A method for refining coconut oil. Alexander P. Ashbourne was an early inventor born into slavery in Philadelphia around 1820. Ashbourne is famous for inventing the biscuit cutter that became very successful. However, his genius didn't stop there. Ashbourne continued to invent and received a patent for processing coconut oil. The Ashbourne process for refining the oil included filtration, bleaching, high-temperature heating, and finally hydrogenation to ensure that no unsaturated fatty acids were left in the oil. Ashbourne began working on this process in 1875 and received a patent on July 27, 1880. Thanks to Ashbourne's early work, coconut oil is used in hair products, foods, and scented products. Number 26. Tatb spot test. The Tatb spot test by Betty Wright is perhaps one of the most impressive inventions by an African-American woman that remains relatively unknown. Harris received a patent in 1986 for her invention of a spot test for triaminotrinitrbenzene, TATB. It allowed scientists to test sampled materials for the presence of TATB, a highly durable explosive used in applications that require extreme safety, such as nuclear weapons. In Harris's test, if a material contained TATB, it would turn the testing liquid a telltale bright orange color. Her invention was a predecessor for the TATB spot tests in use today. Her test allowed for rapidly detecting explosives in the field, greatly improving safety in various industries. The Federal Department of Homeland Security also uses the test to screen for nitroaromatic explosives. Number 25. Improved food preservation and safety. Lloyd Hall was an African-American chemist and brilliant inventor, holding 59 U.S. patents and several others in different countries. His most significant inventions include a vitamin concentrate, an antioxidant salt, nitrogen-fortified whey concentrate, a method for preserving frozen pork, a gelatin-based coating for food products, and an asphalt emulsion. His contributions to food preservation and safety have significantly impacted the industry, making food safer and more accessible worldwide. Number 24. Steam table. In 1873, de Leon received a patent for a device that heated food using both dry heat and steam, an early precursor to the steam tables now found at food buffets. Her invention was referred to simply as a cooking apparatus in the patent. Still, it was an innovative device that would become the precursor to the modern steam table commonly seen in food buffets today. Before de Leon's invention, hot food was often kept warm using chafing dishes, which required frequent refueling and could be dangerous. De Leon's invention utilized steam to keep food at a consistent temperature without an open flame. It featured several compartments, each with its own heating element, allowing different dishes to be kept at different temperatures. This invention was an important step forward in food service technology, making it easier and safer to keep food warm and ready to serve. Number 23. Steam engine for ships. Benjamin Boardley's invention was one of the most impressive, considering he was born into slavery and taught himself to read and write with the help of his master's children. While at the United States Naval Academy in Maryland, Boardley developed the first steam engine on a ship. Unfortunately, due to his status as an enslaved person, he could not legally apply for or be granted a patent for his invention. As a result, Boardley sold the rights to his invention and used the proceeds to purchase his freedom from slavery. Number 22. Carborundum. Dox Thrash was an African-American artist who was famed as a skilled draftsman, master printmaker, and painter, and as the co-inventor of the Carborundum printmaking process. In 1987, Thrash joined the government-sponsored Works Progress Administration, or WPA's Federal Art Project. Through the WPA, Thrash began working at the Fine Print Workshop of Philadelphia. At the Fine Print Workshop of Philadelphia, Thrash, along with Michael J. Gallagher and Hugh Mesabov, began experimenting and co-inventing the process of carborundum mezzotint, a printmaking technique. Carborundum printmaking uses a carbon-based abrasive to burnish copper plates, creating an image that can produce a print in tones ranging from pale gray to deep black. The method is similar to the more difficult and complicated mezzotint process developed in the 17th century. Thrash used this as his primary medium for much of his career and created his greatest works with it. One of his first pieces employing this nascent technique was his anonymous self-portrait entitled Mr. X. With this new technique, the three gained increasing recognition as they published more and more graphics within newspapers and featured more and more pieces within exhibitions. Number 21. Spin Flip Raman Tunable Laser. A Raman laser is a specific type of laser in which the fundamental light amplification mechanism is stimulated Raman scattering. In contrast, most conventional lasers, such as the ruby laser, rely on stimulated electronic transitions to amplify light. The new laser technology was developed by Earl Shaw, an African-American physicist and professor. The laser, which was be operational from 1999, generated short tunable far infrared light pulses that will permit the analog or pulsed magnetic resonance techniques for the first time in the optical wavelength regime. As we wrap up this chapter, it's clear that there are many impressive feats by Black inventors that doesn't get enough recognition. In the chapters to come, we'll uncover more of the stories of amazing Black visionaries who shaped today's technology. As always, watch out for the next part of the series. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos to let more people know the truth about Blacks and to hear their own part of the narratives. Thanks for watching.